Good morning, good morning. This is Kenya Diaspora Media. Karibu sana msikilizaji wangu. Thank you so much for joining in. Karibu sana. I know the Wi-Fi has been playing up and I've been on and off, but this time round I will stay. And the topic today will be on forgiveness, and it's about well-being and safeguarding of our own minds and our own lives. So karibu sana, welcome from wherever you're tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And before we do that, this is our own CEO Jeremy Damaris welcoming us with the song of There Is Hope. Nekore na mwihoko, There Is Hope. Karibu sana. so much. Thank you so much, Jeremy Damaris, with that beautiful song. Thank you so much. And welcome, my listener. Welcome, my viewer, from wherever you're tuned in from or tuning from. Please let me know by you putting a comment here below, and we'll be able to connect with you and join with you so that we can be able to discuss this topic together, and I will know that it is valuable to you as it's coming to you. Karibu sana. From where I am, it's a beautiful day. It's a nice warm day. I know Kenyans have been going through a cold season, and we've been going through a very warm season. I am Esther from Leicester in the United Kingdom, and this program is Spices of Life. I normally say I talk about the spiritual aspects of our lives. I also talk about the physical aspects, the intellectual aspect, the currency or the communication or the way we interact with one another. That's C standing for even the commercial ways of life, the way we transact our lives, okay? And then the emotional aspects of our life, and then the social aspect. All those can be covered in different topics. In the past, I've really spoken about the purpose of your life. And in the last few days, I've been talking about different topics on overthinking, how we can stop that. I've talked about how we can build our self-esteem. And yesterday, I did start on the topic of forgiveness and why it is important. So I will be recapping some of the topics we did yesterday, or some of the points that we did yesterday, and then move on to the whole topic of forgiveness, and we see why it is essential. So karibu sana. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Share the link so that we can be able to work together and be able to communicate in one manner. Thank you so much. And I can see a few people had joined in earlier when the Wi-Fi was playing, but hopefully you can come back and we can be able to communicate with you in different ways. So let me just have a quick look at those who have been joining us currently so that I can be able to welcome everybody afresh. And please share the link, because they say sharing is caring. As long as you're sharing something good, then that's wonderful. So karibu sana from wherever you're tuning in. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, if the audio is there or not there. So karibu sana. Gladys Jamison, karibu sana. Can see you dancing to the tune. Thank you so much. Phoebe Njoki, tuned from Cape Town, South Africa. Thank you so much. Gladys Wamboy, also you're saying good morning too. So good morning, and welcome to this very important topic of forgiveness. And hopefully it will help you. It will help me, because when I talk to people, I don't just talk to you. I talk to myself as well. It's about the community of people that we are. You know, I cannot live independently, and you cannot live independently. We need one another, and in the process of living with one another, of course, we sometimes have differences. Sometimes there are things we do that get on other people in a bad way, and we need to forgive one another. We need to be able to let go. So one of the questions I had asked previously is, what's your favorite room in the house? What's your favorite room in the house? And for me, I have said, for those who are joining in, if this is your first day for joining us, my favorite room in the house is the kitchen. And then I use that kitchen as a parallel or symbolism of this kitchen of our minds, or of our bodies. The kitchen of our lives, or of our bodies, is the mind and the heart. So there are two different compartments that work differently, or rather work differently but together. Yes, the heart, if we look at the physical heart, it's kind of created differently. It's formed differently. The brain is formed differently. But in the heart and the essence of mankind, there is that heart of hearts, and there is that mind of minds, the person that you talk to, and the things that come from within you. You know, that's the heart I'm talking about, and that's the kitchen of our lives. And why do I use my own kitchen, the physical kitchen? It's because that's where I spend most of the time, and that's where I do a lot of cooking. And I'm bringing it in because when we have unforgiveness, it's there in the mind. It's nagging you all the time. It's there in the heart, and you're able to bring out things from within, showing that you're really angry, resentful. You're not happy because somebody has done something against you. So it's in the kitchen that we do the cooking. It's in the mind that we do the cooking. It's in the kitchen that we do the cleaning of the utensils, of the pots, of the floor, everything. And the same way, it is in our minds and in our hearts that we do need to do the cleaning, and forgiveness is one method of cleaning. In the past, I've talked about overthinking. Again, you see, it's in the head that we do all this cooking. So that unforgiveness that you could be holding, you could be overthinking and overthinking about it again and again, but that doesn't solve the problem. You need to let go. And the same way, I was talking about self-esteem in the previous program, self-esteem and confidence. In the same way, if you keep on thinking about something over and over again and you're not doing something about that thing, then your self-esteem may go down. If you overesteem yourself, you might become prideful. If you keep on thinking about things and you're not doing them, then you're not building your confidence. So it's a combination of many things. But today, like I'm saying, I'm going to talk on the topic of forgiveness. That's what I'm going to talk about. And Gladys Wamboi Mwangi, you're saying you're tuned in from Kenya. And Phoebe Njoki, you're saying you are loud and clear. Santeni sana. When you let me know, then I know I am talking to real human beings, not just Esther speaking to her face here on the screen. So thank you so much. Karibu sana for those who are joining in. I will start from the beginning as a way of just making sure that I've reinforced, because some of you who are joining in today were not there yesterday. So this topic might help you if I start from the beginning so that we know what is forgiveness and why do we need to forgive. So what is forgiveness? And before I move on, I want to say thank you so much to Marie Wright, because these notes are written by Marie Wright, a friend of mine and a former colleague in one of the colleges we used to work together. So thank you so much, Marie, for writing the notes. You're making my life so much easier. I can be able to speak about the topic of forgiveness in an easier way. So asante sana. Yes, I'm giving due respect to the person who has done this hard work. And for me, it's to bring to you and present to you, and we discuss it together so that we can be able to let go those things that are holding us back, and then they could be affecting this kitchen of our lives. And when the kitchen is affected, that means there will be no good food coming from there. It will mean that we won't be able to keep it clean. And once we are not keeping it clean, then the bacteria are growing. If you don't wash your pots and you reuse them, you will find even the good food that you ate from them can have bacteria. So we need to keep on cleaning the places that needs to be cleaned. We need to be able to clean the mind and have something that is clean to start from. A clean mind, a clear mind is a good point to start our life of joy every day. You know, I have said many times, the day is not necessarily a blank page. It's a page that has many promises of God, but blank spaces for you and for me to fill it in. But we must come from a point where we are thinking clearly. And unforgiveness will make you not think clearly. So what is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? Forgiveness means different things to different people. That's what we started with yesterday. It means different things. I don't know what it means to you, but generally, however you may think about it, it's to do with a decision. It involves decision making. You have to make a decision, and that decision is not on to hold on, it's to let go. It's to let go that thing that is really weighing you down, that thing that is causing resentment, that thing that is causing thoughts of revenge, that thing that is causing you heartbrokenness, that thing that is causing you sadness, that thing that is causing you tears. Forgiveness is about making a decision to let go. So I don't know what it is that someone has ever done to you or you have done to yourself, because sometimes it's not that people do things to you. You can do things to yourself, you know, when you make wrong decisions, when you make wrong choices, and then the consequences of those choices come out. You don't like them. You may harbor unforgiveness against yourself and say, I'll never forgive myself for that thing that I did. But it's good to let go. So forgiveness, at its basic definition, is letting go everything that is causing you heartache, that is piling in your kitchen of the mind, or rather kitchen of our lives, that is piling in the heart, that is causing pain. So you need to let go. So the act that hurt or offend you might always be with you if you don't let go. But forgiveness, lessens the grip that thing has on you. It makes it loose. So if you let go, it kind of, that tight hold on you, that stronghold that is holding on to you because of unforgiveness, if you let go, it becomes less. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It can hurt, and sometimes it takes longer to heal the heart. But once you start the process of letting go, because sometimes there's a way you can let go once, or alternatively, it's a process of letting go, because it depends on how much that thing had hurt you and how much consequences that thing had had on your life. So that sometimes we heal in the process, we heal slowly. It doesn't just happen in one go. So the act that hurts or offends you, coming from you or coming from others, if we start forgiving, whether it's in the process or instantly, then we start healing, and we help to set ourselves free from the control of that thing, or from the control of that person that we think is controlling us. In actual sense, they're not controlling us, because they did that thing to hurt us and they left. They may be continuing with their life as usual. They will not be bothered about you. They're just moving on with their life. There are those people who do intentionally hurt you. They want to hurt you, and they want to make sure that you know that they're hurting you, that the pain that they're causing you. But then it's when you allow them to settle or to nest in your mind. It's when you allow them to dig deeper into your mind. So it's the way you accept or receive or perceive, right? So if you accept that thing as hurtful to you, then you harbor it in your mind. If you receive it and then overthink about it, taking us back to the topic of overthinking, and then you start overthinking about it, then it takes control of you. It's not the other person taking control of you. It's that thing that is going on and on and on and on in your mind that is taking control of you, and it is harming you more than it's harming the other person. So forgiveness can lead to feelings of understanding if you let go. So it can bring feelings of understanding. You can start to understand, either you understand yourself and the way you respond to situation rather than reacting. Also, it can help you to understand the other person. It can also start helping you to empathize with other people. Those people who want to cause hurt and pain to other people, they could be hurt themselves. So they could be bringing that. I remember when we were punishing our own children, we were punishing them because we were punished before. Alternatively, you had fell out with someone somewhere, at work, or a spouse. You have fell out with them, and therefore you kind of vent this anger to the children. So it helps you to empathize with other people. So instead of you causing pain to other people, you get into their shoes and try to understand what is causing their pain. Why do they want to cause pain on you? And even for yourself, why do you want to hurt yourself? In the UK and in the West, people cut themselves sometimes because they want to feel pain. They want to feel pain because of some things that they think by cutting themselves and causing pain to them, that thing will go. That's not empathy. That is hurting yourself. So instead of doing that, then go on the opposite. Empathize. Get yourself into the situation where you think this thing is coming from. And as we progress on the notes, you will see sometimes it's important, not sometimes, it is important that we go back to where the beginning of that problem started, and then we can be able to deal with it. And then forgiveness can lead to compassion. You can have compassion for yourself. You can have compassion for others. You can have compassion for that person that hurt you. Why? Because it's from the point of compassion that we are able to be transformed. Like I said, when you empathize, when you understand them, then when you have compassion for them, they too might start healing. They too might come and apologize because they know that they have done something wrong. The currency of God is love. The currency of God, the money transaction is of this world, but the currency that God commands us to flow with is love, and compassion is one of the way we do love. So you can have compassion on that person that has hurt you. You can have compassion for yourself so that heaven is yours, that the kingdom of God will be yours, because that's obedience of the commandment of God. God says obedience is better than sacrifice. No amount of giving, In some relationship, you can see that when the other person has messed the other person, I would say, let me be stereotypical a bit. I would say men, when they've had their wives, they tend to go and buy a pair of shoes, buy flowers, and buy these to try to win them back. It doesn't work. It doesn't really work. It needs to come from within. It needs to be that passion and love coming from within, that you love that person so much that no amount of material things can heal them. Talk to them, communicate to them, and it might help them to, yes, heal and start healing. And then you don't repeat by doing that thing that you did to them that hurt them. So forgiveness doesn't mean, by the way, forgetting. So when you've been hurt, whether you've hurt yourself or somebody else has hurt yourself, it doesn't mean that you forget. You know, people often say forgive and forget. No, I don't think the forgetting aspect is true. We don't forget. We remember, but how we remember those things matters. Do we remember them from a point of being hurt, or do we remember them from a point of that I forgive, I love that person regardless of whether they receive my love or not. I forgive, but I have a clean heart. So I'm doing it from a clean heart. It doesn't mean, forgiveness does not mean excusing the harm that was done. You know, the consequences of being hurt are still there. You know, if somebody slashed you or somebody was killed in the process, that harm is there. So it doesn't mean excusing that harm. They still need to be told that this thing that they did was not good. You know, we need to know that the thing that was done was not good, so that we don't do the same to other people. So even when we revenge, for example, we do the same harm to other people. So it's important that we don't forget, because in not forgetting, then we can learn the lesson. We can be able to learn the lesson from the thing that was done or the things that we have done. And we can be able to let go much easier, knowing that it's just a memory. A memory, yes. Most of the time, I normally say that it is, there was a wound when that thing was happening, an open wound that was bleeding. And sometimes people go poking at the wound. When you poke at the wound, like in that overthinking process, or when other people continue taunting you and doing things that are annoying, or they're bringing more hurt, then that wound remains open. But the very moment you start healing, let the wound heal. The scar will always be there. The scar will remain. It may take a long time for that scar to go. And I don't think it goes. And even if it goes, you will know that one time there used to be a scar there, but by God's grace, it has gone with time. Okay. So I'm saying this, forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean excusing the harm that was done, or making up with the person that who caused you harm. Yes, you don't have to go and be friends with that person. Yes, you can love them because God commands us to love. And when you forgive them, that's a sign of loving them. But it doesn't mean that you have to relate with them in the same way you used to relate with them. No, you have seen when people divorce, they don't go and then again marry on the side. No, once they go, you let go that person, and that stays as a memory. And yes, you don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to remarry them again. No. You move on with your life. Okay. Forgiveness brings a kind of peace that helps you to go on with life. The letting go, like I said, is about you, the thing that you're holding back. Once you let go, it's like the burden is just lifted. And once the burden is lifted from your heart, from your mind, you experience a sense of peace. You experience a sense of peace, and your life can go on. You stop overthinking about that situation. You know, the topic of overthinking was the one I did previously. So, what are the benefits of forgiving someone? Yeah. When you let go the grudges and when you let go the bitterness, you can make way for an improved health and the peace of mind. You can already, as we have mentioned. So you let go the heaviness, you let go the resentment, you let go the bitterness. And you know, by the way, these things can cause a bitterness in the physical sense. You feel as if you're eating something very bitter when you hold on to bitterness and all that. So letting go of those can improve your health, and they can improve your mind. They can lead to healthier relationships. So you are able now to let go of those relationships that were toxic, and you can be able to start new relationships which are more healthier. You can have an improved mental health. Your thinking is much clearer. It's much clearer. So you start from a good point where there is nothing clogging your mind. That grudge is no longer there. That bitterness, resentment, feeling like revenging, it's no longer there. So you start from a clear point of view. It brings less anxiety. So you're more or less anxious, and also the stress levels go down. And then that hostility, when you have hostility, even it can be seen in the face. When you're angry all the time, people can tell this person, They never smile. They're just hostile. The words that come from the mouth, it's coming from deep from their hearts. It's because they're not happy about something. Yes. And then when things are happening in the mind, when you're overthinking things, and when things are happening in the deep heart of your person, the essence of the person, it affects the physical life. It affects our physical being. So it kind of increases the blood pressure. So, but when you forgive someone, it is able to balance the blood pressure. It lowers the blood pressure to a balanced manner, okay? Because when you overthink, it's like the blood is rushing in your body and it wants to deal with these things that are going through your mind and all that. So in another way, you have also less symptoms, or you don't have depression, okay? You don't end up in depression, because when you overthink of this thing that is causing you not to forgive, then you can sink into depression. Yes. And then when the blood pressure is balanced, when all these other things are happening, you can have a stronger immune system, because the body cells are not fighting as much as they're not fighting these other negative vibes that are in your body. It can have time to fight any other attacks or any other bacteria that could be coming to your body. It also improves our heart health. It improves our self-esteem. Like we have already talked about the topic of self-esteem, that part is also improved. You feel better about yourself. Just forgiving someone, just letting go, for this, letting go, it does make you feel better. Yeah, the very moment you win that battle of holding on, it helps, and it helps a lot. So let me know whether this topic is helping you as we continue talking. The next point will be, why is it so easy to hold on to grudge? Have you ever held on a grudge? Have you felt like you've never wanted to forgive someone? Have you thought, no, this one I'll never forgive because the sin is it's so deep. So let me know if you've ever held a grudge, or someone has held a grudge against you and they didn't want to let go. Thank you so much for those who are joining in. Karibu sana, and keep on sharing with your friends so that they can know there is a good topic here on forgiveness. Thank you. Now, why is it so easy to hold on to a grudge? Why? Yeah. Being hurt by someone, particularly someone you love or trust, can cause anger, sadness, confusion. It's real. It's there. It's realistic. It's there. It's happening. It's affecting you. You're hearing things. You're seeing things. You're feeling things if somebody is domestically violating you, or they're hitting you. If there is a physical abuse, if there is psychological abuse, they're there. You feel them. And if you dwell on those hurtful events or situation, grudges filled with resentment, vengeance, and hostility, they take root. Yes. The reality of the situation, if it takes root, then you hold on to that grudge, and it's not so easy to really let go. Why? Because the trust is broken. The love is no longer there. So you allow the negative feelings to crowd out positive feelings. You no longer see anything good about the person or any other person. You start putting people into categories and say men are these, women are these, because all you're seeing, you're wearing this lens of what that person did to you. Yes, because you've allowed that thing to settle in your mind. You've allowed it to take root. And once it's taken root, of course, it's you who will be showing this thing. They will be reflected out of your life. So you'll be projecting these things to other people. Okay, some people are naturally forgiving than others, but others can take a long time to forgive. But it's good to get started anyway in the process of forgiveness. So if you allow negative feelings to crowd out positive feelings, you might find yourself swallowed up. You might be swallowed up in your own bitterness and a sense of injustice. You're feeling like justice has not been done to you. And if you spend 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in that kind of state, your life will be swallowed up. You wouldn't have a quality life because you've allowed this thing to rule you, to govern you. Yes? But yes, it's important that we start letting go. But even if you're a grudge holder, almost anyone can learn to forgive. So for those who think, I cannot let go, you can start learning to let go. And you can start learning to let go bit by looking at the positive things about maybe the person. Also looking at your own life and saying, if I let go this person, how can I become better in my own life? Okay? So how do I reach a state of forgiveness? Forgiveness is a commitment to a personalized process of change. You must commit. If you don't commit to that, then it won't happen. In the same way, people come into marriage and commit to one another. In the same way, parents, when they have had a baby, they commit to raising this child. Forgiveness is also a commitment to change, a commitment to let go. And once you've started the process, whether you let go in one go or you let go in bits by bits, commit to letting go. So it's about moving from suffering to forgiveness. It's about moving from the pain that you have to freedom. It's about starting afresh, okay? Remember, I said we don't necessarily forget, but the scar will no longer be, the wound will no longer be bleeding, but the scar will be there to remind you, I don't want to go back there, and I don't want to do the same thing to this person or to another person. So some of the things that we can be able to do to reach a state of forgiveness is recognize the value of forgiveness and how it can improve your life. It can improve your life, and it can also improve the life of the other person with time. So recognize the value of forgiveness and how it can improve your life. Then number 2, identify what needs healing and who needs to be forgiven and for what. Sometimes people are not ready to be forgiven. They are not ready to listen. It doesn't matter, right? It's about you and the things that you're holding in. It's about the things that you have accumulated in your mind. When you let go, whether they know that you have let go or not, you start from yourself. So it needs to start from you, the healing process. If you have the courage and the confidence to go and tell them, then go and confront them or tell them, and then you work with them. If they refuse to work with you, you can still let go. You can say, I'm not going to hold on to this thing anymore. Whether they want my forgiveness or not, I am going to forgive them anyway. Why? It's a commandment from God. In the Lord's Prayer, it says, if you don't forgive other people, you won't be forgiven. So start from that point of knowing there's a value in forgiving. If you hold on to it, you have not been forgiven even from God's point of view. So you need to let go, whether they accept it or not. Even the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his son to forgive them. When they don't accept the forgiveness, that's their problem. Yeah, you have done your part. You have let go. And you have identified what it was that you needed to let go. What is it that you needed to, clean up from your mind? And who was it that had caused this? Was it yourself or another person? The other thing you can do to reach a state of forgiveness is to join a support group or even see a counselor. I am here because I want to help someone who has been holding back into unforgiveness. I want to be able to support you with these words and tell you, look, you can let go and live a free life. You may not have the money to go and see the counselor. You may not have time to go and see the counselor. But Esther is here right now, this moment. If you've been holding unforgiveness, then you can be able to start from this point of view. If you know someone who's been holding unforgiveness, you can use the same points to come and help them. You can be able to go and support them and say, listen, I was listening to this program. Maybe it will help you to be able to let go. So consider joining a support group or even seeing a counselor. The other thing is to acknowledge your emotions about the harm done to you and how they affect your behavior and work to release them. Our emotions, they control so much of what we become or what we are. So sometimes you could be just feeling sad all the time, or you could be caught up by these emotions all the time, and they're wasting your time because the harm was done. But instead of the wound healing, like I've said, it is infesting with more bacteria, and it's bleeding and all that. So acknowledge that emotion is there, yes. And when it's there, when the wound is hurting, then your behavior is different. You'll be behaving different. You don't want people to step on you. You don't want people to say things to you. Even if another person doesn't intend to hurt you, you project every pain from you to other people. So just acknowledge the pain is there, and that pain can affect your behavior, and that pain can be projected on other people. So just remember, you need to learn how to respond to other people's situation rather than reacting with your anger, with your resentment, with your pain and all that. Then the other thing is to choose to forgive the other person who offended you. Like I said, whether they like it or they accept it or not, Just choose. It's a choice that you make. Out of that commitment that you make, it's a choice you make every day. Yes, this is a memory that somebody hurt me or I hurt myself at some point, but choose to let go. You have to make that choice. And that choice, sometimes when it starts nagging you in the process of overthinking, you've got to let go. You've got to let go. Asante sana. As you let go the grudges, you'll no longer define your life by what is hurting you. You will define your life from where you started to live in freedom. Move away from your role as a victim, right? And release the control and power of the offending person and the situation that it has over your life. Move away from being a victim. Oh, I'm a victim. You're a victor. The process of letting go itself is victorious. The very day you say, I've let go and I've let go this other thing, that's the day you start becoming a victor. You're no longer a victim. But if you let the thing hold you down, if you let the grudges hold you down, then you become a victim day by day, day by day. So let go, let go. As you let go of the grudges, again, like I said, it does no longer define you. It will be a scar to be remembered, but it won't be a festering wound. It won't be a festering wound. Thank you so much. So what happens if I can't forgive someone? Because there are some people who say, I cannot forgive someone. Forgiveness can be challenging, especially if the person who hurt you doesn't admit the wrong. It can really be difficult and challenging. If you find yourself being stuck, like I said initially, practice empathy. Try seeing the situation from the other person's point of view. Were they hurt? And that's why they're coming to hurt you. So empathize with them. Why is it happening? Don't get into that trap also of you holding things against other people and becoming reactive to other people's situation, and therefore you build other unforgiveness from other people. So don't spread the disease. Practice empathy. Try to understand the situation of the other person. Then ask yourself, why is he or she, why is she behaving in such a way? Perhaps they have reacted similarly, or perhaps you have reacted similarly if you are facing the same situation. And that's where forgiveness comes in. No one is immune to causing offense to another person. No one. We can all offend other people. We can all hurt other people. So ask yourself, what is it that caused them to behave in such a way? What is it that causes you to act in an offensive way sometimes? Then reflect on the times you've hurt others and those who've you forgiven you or who have forgiven you, right? You could have forgiven other people in the past, or you may have been forgiven. So reflect on those situations and have the heart to forgive the other person. Have the heart to forgive the other person. Then it's good to write a journal and pray about this issue. People also use guided meditation. Yeah, you can meditate on the word of God, like what does God say about this situation? What does the Bible say about this situation? You can go to talk therapy, talk to another person who can be able to guide you on how to let go. That's what, when you are not able to forgive, you're feeling like I still want to hold on. So write those things down. They might help you when you come back to them. You can say, here, I let go. Here, I let go. Okay, talk to someone. Yeah. Find someone, maybe a spiritual leader, a mentor, or a coach. Yeah, let them talk to you, or a health provider. Yes, like in the past, I've said when it comes to building self-confidence, you can go professional. When there are mental health issues, you can't go and ask for professional help. It's important. Always aim to forgive. Aim to let go. Don't keep on holding on to that thing that is causing unforgiveness hurt in you because of unforgiveness. Be aware that forgiveness is a process, yes, and even small hurts may need to be revisited and forgiven over and over again. So whenever that thing nags you into your mind, just remind yourself, I've let this thing go, and if I haven't, I'm letting go. For me as a Christian, I would say, Lord, help me to let this thing go. Help me to let this thing go. Yes, forgive them. Just like the way Jesus forgave people who were killing him on the cross. Forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Maybe they are not even aware they are hurting you. Just let go. And once you let them go, you are the one who will be free. Now, does forgiveness guarantee reconciliation? Does forgiveness guarantee reconciliation? Of course not. If the hurtful event involves someone whose relationship you otherwise value, forgiveness can lead to reconciliation. So husbands and wives, parents and children, They can reconcile because they need to live in the same house. Within a nation, as a tribes and whoever, we need to reconcile because we are sharing the spaces together. Within a church, yes, we are sharing spaces together. We need to have a reconciliation. And that's what even Jesus came to do, to bring reconciliation of us back to God. There are sometimes there is no reconciliation. And don't worry if somebody doesn't relate with you again out of forgiveness. Just let go. Like I said previously, let go. But where reconciliation is necessary, work for that reconciliation, work for that peace, because it's important that you work together as a family, as friends, as a church, as a community, because life must continue. And it's a good process of growing and developing ourselves. So reconciliation might be impossible if the offender has died or is unwilling to communicate with you. In other cases, reconciliation might be not appropriate. Still, forgiveness is possible. For a rapist, for example, you can still forgive them, but you don't have room there to reconcile with them. There's nothing you can reconcile about with someone who has done something like that. You forgive them, you will remember, yes, but with time, just start healing from that process. So it's important to know that reconciliation is not guaranteed. Still, forgiveness is possible, but reconciliation is not necessarily possible. What if the person I'm forgiving doesn't change? Does it really matter? If they don't change, you are changing, because forgiveness is about you. Getting another person to change his or her action is not your job. Yeah, it is for your job or responsibility to change this person that is you. Yes, whether they change, that's their problem, or they don't change, that's their problem or their issue. So behavior or words isn't the point of forgiveness. It's not just about talking and saying that I've forgiven you. No. We would like them to change. We would like them to treat us better. But if they don't, then again, there's nothing we can do about it. So think of forgiveness more about how it can change your life by bringing you peace, by bringing you happiness, by bringing you emotional and spiritual well-being, healing. Forgiveness can take away the power of the other person, or the power that you have given to the other person to continue to holding you down. They don't. Yeah. So if they don't change, like I'm saying, that's their problem. You change because it's you who needs to change. Okay. So it's you who chooses how to respond, how to grow yourself, how to heal. And if they choose to come back and ask for forgiveness, the better. Then the relationship, like I said, will be built. We'll have more healthier relationships. Okay, what if I'm the one who needs forgiveness? If you're the one who needs forgiveness, the first step is to honestly assess and acknowledge the wrongs you have done and how they have affected others. Avoid judging yourself too harshly. Yes, avoid, because we do sometimes, like I was saying, sometimes we are unforgiving to ourselves. So honestly assess and acknowledge the wrongs you have done to the other person. If you have the guts, go and ask for forgiveness. And it's important. For me, I think it would be very, very important for me to go and ask for forgiveness if I knew I have wronged someone else. But if you think you are not able to approach that person, you can ask another person to go on your behalf. Alternatively, just pray for an opportunity where you can be able to be reconciled to that person. Like I said, if it's somebody within the family, reconciliation is good. If it's somebody within the church, workplace, you need to reconcile because you're continuing to share the same spaces. So for me, if I am the one who has wronged someone, I will go and apologize. And if I'm truly sorry for something I've said or done, I must admit that, or I consider admitting to those I have harmed, and speak from a sincere heart, be sorrowful, regretfully, and ask for forgiveness without making excuses. Sometimes we go forgiving other people, but we are still saying, by the way, you did this to me, that's why I did this. No. Genuinely go and ask for forgiveness and let go. Go and ask for forgiveness and let go. So remember, however, you can't force someone to forgive you. If they refuse to forgive you, then don't force them to forgive you. Do your part. Ask them for forgiveness. Let go that particular point. And others need to move to forgiveness in their own time. Whatever happens, commit to treating others with compassion, empathy, and respect. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a subject on forgiveness, and it's important that we understand what is forgiveness and why do we need to forgive one another. Why we need. Benson Mashara, you're saying you're tuned in from Nairobi. Asante sana and karibu. Thank you so much for joining me. Unless you have a question or you want to comment on anything, it's about time. I think I've done justice to this topic, and I am thinking I'm going to call it a day because I know Kenyans are still waiting to see who is the next president. But if you need to work through the subject of forgiveness, whether you need to be forgiven or you need to forgive someone, please share this link, share this message, because it's an important message for us to be healing from the inside out. Forgiveness is about letting go. It's a decision you make, and then once you make that decision, you must choose to know that you have let go and to choose to start living life afresh. And sometimes forgiveness, not sometimes, the Bible says you forgive 7 times 7 times 7, I don't know, times 70 times. It's countless. You must continue forgiving on daily basis as many times as you can. Otherwise, if you hold on to it, it is a virus, it is a disease that you're holding on to, and it affects you more than it affects the other person. Otherwise, asanteni sana kwa kuwa nami. Thank you so much for being with me on this Kenya Diaspora Media, and I am delighted, I'm happy that you could join me. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. And all the best for the Kenyans, because of we are waiting for a new president. We need to see who are the new leaders. I will be playing a song on love, because without love, I'm doing this because it's out of love that we can be able to operate from a point of love. Today, the topic was on forgiveness. My name is Esther from Leicester. Yes, I looked very serious because it's a serious subject of well-being and safeguarding. Guard your heart, guard your mind, because out of the heart is where the fullness of life comes from. So if your heart is crowded or with things that you're holding on to just because you think somebody else wronged you or you wronged yourself, or something is really annoying from somewhere external, please clean that dish, clean that kitchen, clean it and start afresh day by day. Simbarikiwe. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kana dire wendo hana taruduku kana gegere gabaga ya gudu hana taruduku kana gegere gabaga ya gudu wendo gai wendo otare wendo no virato wendo gai wendo otare wendo no virato. No wira watu itale wenda ni dire fatona nini itale wenda ni dire fatona nini wendo gai wendo otale wendo no wira watu wendo gai wendo otale wendo no wira watu. Kwa na mwili wako usinwo